Hello everyone, my name is Bygl and welcome back to another episode here from our Let's Play series. I hope you are having a wonderful day today and thank you for joining me to today's special episode. So we are doing the Promised World Tour and we have two main reasons to do it. And the first one is that by doing this we kinda get a good grasp on what we actually need to finish in the world still and what we actually still need to work on. And the other reason is that if there is someone new that wants to get into the series, right? Well, they don't need to watch all 50 of our episodes, they just need to watch this one, and that's how they get caught up on everything we did in the world. Those are our main two reasons. The third one, kinda secondary, but yeah, I just like doing world tours. They're kinda fun to do, and I also really like watching them, so that is the third minor reason. And I guess we can start right off by introducing you to the task board. So 25 episodes back, we made ourselves a promise, and the promise was to complete every single project that is here on the task board. It was kind of a challenge. And each sign that is dyed green represents a finished project or a finished task, and each one that is colored yellow represents a work in progress project, and each one that is white, well, sadly those are unfinished projects that we didn't get around to doing. So we will probably dye those in a red color in the next episode, but I think we did relatively well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 projects were left unfinished, so overall I am actually kinda happy with how this turned out. So yeah, I don't think we will be doing this again though, and for a good reason, and that is that I actually want to have way more freedom on what I actually want to work on this world. I don't want to follow a task board that I set to myself 25 episodes back, right? So I think we are ready to start here, and what better place to start in other than the very first build we did in this world. This here is the coal mines base, our very first starter base. Let me just shut up these spiders here. We're gonna check that out in a very quick second. But yeah, this here was our very first base, our starter base actually. And it transformed quite a bit ever since we moved away from it. But I still really like this place. So we had a furnace area structure thing. This is where we used to have our chests. Now we just have some coal here for decoration. We had a bed, we had a mines entrance, and that was basically it. We also had a enchanting setup here, which we tore out and replaced with something else, but we'll check that out later. So while we are here, we're gonna take the stairs down. I'm gonna show you one of our first redstone contraptions actually, now that I think about it. And I'm also gonna try to not cut out all of the walking, that way you can kind of get the sense of scale, you know, kind of get the feeling of how everything is far away from each other. Hello doggy. We have a bunch of dogs around. I have never really even realized that. Well, I did now. So back here is where we had our branch mine, our very first one, and this here was our first redstone contraption. So we have a hopper clock on the back, which periodically shuts itself on and off, and whenever it changes forms, the observer detects that and sets a signal to the rails, and then the minecart that usually sits here goes up, delivers its items to the chest up above. Yeah, there it fired. And then it comes back to pick up more stuff from the hopper. Chains were actually a new block when we started building this, so I used them galore here, as you can see. I really like them, and I still do really like them. One of the better additions to this game, for sure. Cactus in a pot near the bed. Apparently this thing is about to burn down. That's pretty cool. Didn't know about that. Lots of smoke particles. We probably hit some torches below the slabs, right? Yeah. Anyway, moving on, we're gonna take a look at our very first mob farm on this world. So we're gonna set our game mode to spectator, There we go. And by the way, this is a good good time to say this, but this is not actually our world. This is a creative copy of our world, so no need to worry there. We can break anything, we can use cheats, and it's all gonna be reverted when we start the next episode. So this is the spawner where the spiders spawn. It is a spider farm, and then they just go down the water stream, get picked up by the bubbles, and here is where we kill them. Yeah, it's a very simple farm that anyone can build, and it was actually our... Whew. Oh my goodness. Wow, that spider just slammed its skeleton against the ceiling. Wow, okay, that was kind of amusing. But yeah, oh man, I absolutely lost my train of thought. I wanted to say something and I absolutely forgot what it was. Anyway, moving on, we're gonna take a look at this thing. So this is also one of the very first builds we did on the world, and it is a monument to a birch tree. So when we spawned in, around there somewhere, we found a lake here. Let me see if I can find it, and I just found it. There it was, and it had a levitating birch tree above it, and we decided to put a monument here to remember that occurrence. So yeah, now we have a cool looking terraformed pedestal with a birch tree on the top, and it really like set the series for me, because those are like my two favorite things to do: terraforming and building custom trees. So this is like a combination of those two things, and still to this day I do really like it. I think it looks really cool. Moving on from the birch tree monument, we have our rock spikes custom biome, and I really do like this place. I had an idea for a rock spikes biome for a very long time, and I decided to put it above our starter base one day, and this is how it looks, and I really do like it. We still need to finish it, but yeah, overall definitely a fine addition to this place, methinks, at least. And now we can move on from the center of this place, and we're gonna take a stroll this way. So as you can see, we have a giant nether portal right in front of us, and the idea was to build a maximum sized portal, which we didn't do. You can actually go quite a bit bigger than this, but yeah, even though it is not the biggest size you can have, I think it is still very impressive. And we have some pretty cool details here. We have some netherrack with some nether foliage. When 1.16 started coming out, I decided to use these on the dirt in front of it, along with the mushrooms and the berries and the nether wart and a bunch of reds. Kind of make it look like the nether is spilling out from the portal, which I do really like. And actually we should take a fly around this thing, so you can see that the backside is also fully terraformed now. It is a absolutely finished project, except for one detail actually. So let's get in here, and as you can see, yeah, the other side of the portal not looking very good. Definitely needs some work here. When we built this thing, I actually noticed a huge flaw with it, and that is that it spawned a huge amount of zombie pigmen, and it was really annoying. So to counter that, we actually used it to our advantage. Wow, that is loud. So whenever a zombie pigman spawns here, it actually tries to crush the egg and it falls down there. So it is basically a bootleg gold farm, and as you can see, it did actually collect quite a bit of stuff over the time it was here. I think I actually emptied this one, so maybe like 2 stacks of gold ingots, which for the effort put in, yeah, I'm gonna take that, of course. And it's kind of tricky, but you can actually fly out, and the gold is not even the main purpose of this thing. The main purpose is to just have no zombie pigmen, so I think that is something that thing accomplished quite well. Wow, that was a hard sentence for me to say. While we are still here, we should also probably take a look at this. I kinda skipped over this for some reason. But yeah, these are custom hills, custom cliffs, custom... I don't know how would you call this thing? Ravine Canyon? No idea. But basically we have two hills on the sides of us, and it creates this nice like claustrophobic effect. That is definitely not a good way to describe it, but it's kind of cool to have like walls around you when you're walking somewhere. It feels way more compact. I don't like having big spaces of nothing for no reason, right? Like this space. I don't really like it. I think we're gonna have to put like a custom tree here or something just to fill up the space. So yeah, I am definitely a fan of more cramped areas for some reason. Moving on from the main road here, we can take a right turn, and this here is our main villager trading area. I don't really know how I would call this place, but yeah, basically we just have a lot of villagers here. We tried to get one of each profession at least, and that is what we got here. So we got the cauldron, the barrel, fletching table, and all of the other workstations. I'm not gonna name them all here. And the other ones, the more useful ones, like the composters and the lecterns, we got multiple of, and we also wrote down all of the good traits that these guys have. Moving on, before we fall down there, we're just gonna take a quick look around. So this is how you get to the top of this area, the rock biome. And this here is still work in progress. This is like a side entrance or a side exit with a nice view over the sea. We definitely need to improve it though. It's just kinda ends here for some reason. Yeah, we never really got around to working on it yet. But now we're gonna take a look on something that is down here. And I did try to go in a chronological order while doing this episode, but yeah, we kinda already ruined that, so we're just gonna roll with the punches. So this, in contrast to our other builds, is actually a more recent one. We worked on this a few episodes, and this here is our iron farm. Work in progress. And I really like this thing. So we have our iron farm in the middle, and then we also have this nice like ring going around, so you can view it from multiple angles. Also doubles as a cat farm, as you can see, and also triples as a slime farm. You can probably hear one right there. So you can see that we have some sections cut out down there, and soon enough we will actually mine those out, and this will then change into a iron plus slime farm, because there is a slime chunk around there somewhere and also one around there somewhere. And if we mine out a large area around there, the slimes will eventually fall into the water and we will get small tricklets of slime coming in. We already have the filter set up in here, and I think we actually got some a few times. And yeah, this thing actually produces really good amounts of iron. Like really good amounts of iron. It's actually kinda insane. I really like it. I never really built a really efficient iron farm, so this is like the proper first one. And we can still increase the efficiency by adding more villagers into this. We can still double the efficiency, I think. And I actually think it kind of stopped working right now. I think a iron golem spawned somewhere on the outskirts of the thing, so now we are not getting any golem spawns. Well, anyway, something to fix later. The glass is there to prevent the golems from going there, because they would usually get stuck because the water did not push them in here because of their hitboxes. And we are probably gonna change that quite a bit, so we're probably gonna have like a whole line there right? A whole line, and then they fall down, and then there's gonna be more water streams, and then they get funneled down to the magma blocks, which they get killed by. And this is actually a good time to go to spectator again. So let's do that. So the golems fall down here to the magma blocks. This for a good reason. That way, these villagers can spawn iron golems more frequently. Because usually, if there is a golem within the spawning radius, they will actually fail the spawn attempt. This way we get them out of the spawning radius quickly, and they fall down onto the magma blocks. And there is a simple collection system here with a minecart that collects its items into this hopper. This is a backlog chest. We have a auto dropper here that automatically shoots its items out of it. And then we have a simple water stream that goes up here. The items travel through the bubbles, and then they get aligned on this honey block, and then they run over these hoppers. And even though they are still getting affected by the, by the ice, they also occupy the same block where the hoppers are. And that way we get to push them with the ice, and they also get to be picked up by the hoppers, if they can get picked up by the filter. And if they don't match the slime or the iron filter, then they continue this way. There's a small jump here, and this is what this thing is for in the entrance. This actually sends the items all the way around here, where they also get aligned, and this is where they end up. So we have a flower storage here, and when the flower storage gets completely filled up, then we also have a composter set up here, which will slowly produce bone meal. And we also have a overflow chests, and as you can see, for some reason we are getting iron in here, no idea why. I'm gonna have to look into that. But yeah, whenever something ends up in the water stream that is not supposed to be there, this thing can pick it up. Man, I really hope the audio is good on this video. I actually had to reinstall OBS recently, so hopefully everything is smooth as butter, hopefully everything is going well on the recording side of things. Anyway, survival. There we go. I don't know why I don't use tab while writing to auto-finish, but whatever. We are going to take a look on the most important build in our series, arguably. This here, so we have a pretty cool staircase, lots of lanterns, that then transition to blue lanterns, and we also have this black stone archway here. Floor changes to cyan terracotta? Yes, cyan terracotta. Was gonna say grey terracotta, but they look same to me, to be honest. And this is our most visited place in this world. This is the Diamond Cave, which is our storage system. And I love this place so much. So we went for a pretty interesting block palette using the diamonds there. This is when soul lanterns came out, and I was like, yes, I gotta use those with a diamond, or not a diamond, or multiple diamond ores in a build. Like I had this vision, and I think it came to realization relatively well. So the soul lanterns match the soul torches, which match the diamond ore, and then we also have the contrasting black. Well, it's not contrasting, it's like an analog color to go with it. We have the basalt to frame some of these things in. And yeah, as far as our storage system as of right now goes, it is very, very simple. We just have like a chest for wood, and everything that is wooden goes there. A chest for tools, a chest for armor. The simplest way to store items in the game, really. And we also have some of these redstone silos on the sides. So how these work, it's really simple. All you really have is a comparator detecting if there is something in the chest, and when there is something in the chest, the indicator lights up, and then we have signs indicating how full we are on the storage. So we are approximately 80% filled with netherrack, as you can see. And as far as cobblestone here goes, we are in the 20% side of things. Definitely not the correct... Oh, hello. Definitely not the correct words to use there. Man, these stray cats, they get everywhere. But we have a bunch of useful stuff around here as well. We have a bed, enchanting setup, a simple one. We have some stations that we usually use. And we also have a map of the place. So we already visited this, walked along here, walked in this area, visited the portal, and then we will probably be walking our way somewhat like this. Kind of like that. And this place is actually carpeted because we are hiding the soul sand. I knew I was gonna say that. The soul soil, that is the correct word. And that way we get the benefit of using soul speed 3. We can actually get around here pretty quick. Anyway, let's move on. We're gonna take a left turn here. That is where we came from, and this is where we are going now. So this here was our very first farm area of the world. So yeah, we built this in like episode 3, and it was our main source of food for a while until we bred up some cows, and then we used those. And nowadays we usually just use golden carrots, but we still also use steak sometimes. So we also have potato and carrots on the upper floor here. And it's basically supposed to represent like tree stumps. Like this was supposed to be like a old giant forest which was cut down, and then people placed wheat in it or something. Kinda tried to do some storytelling here. Whether I failed or success, I'm gonna leave you to judge that. But we're gonna take a look on something more recent here as well. This cat is following me. It really is. So this here is supposed to be a micro farm, which I don't even want to show off because it's kind of broken. We tried to fix it last episode and it kind of didn't work. Yeah, there is also not enough bone meal for it to work. But basically you have a lever there and a lever here, and then you just hold right click and it will automatically make wheat for your carrots or potato or whatever you're holding in your hand, but you need to have all 3 dispensers filled for it to work. And I think this is a pretty good time to talk about hidden lighting. So we hid a bunch of glowstone in the ceiling and in the bushes, and that is what lights up this entire place. Fix that. And we actually use that quite a bit everywhere. We have a leaf block with a pumpkin here, another pumpkin down there. I think there is one around here as well. There it is. So yeah, we try to hide lighting where possible, that way you don't have the ugly torches around, and you know, the place looks way cleaner that way. But we're gonna take our route this way to this tree stump, which actually has a small tree on top of it. Still, before I actually learned how to make proper custom trees. Looks very blocky, this one as well. And I actually want to show you this place because it is a pretty cool Easter egg. So if I hit F1 and I position myself somewhat like this is our current outro screen. Yeah, that is pretty cool. And moving on up here, this is what I would officially call Spruce Town. So it's basically just a small collection of custom medieval-like buildings. We don't really work on this anymore, and I'm not really planning to. Close the door. But it was a super fun project while it lasted. So let's take a quick look at it from a distance. Currently only has 3 somewhat finished buildings and a single unfinished one. And if we were going to add one more, it would probably be in the rock biome, right? But anyway, we're gonna tour through each one of these buildings now. Starting off with the first one we built, this is the Smeltery. Where is my door? Damn zombies stealing my doors. Okay, so to explain how this works, basically it is just a furnace array, which is so makeshift. I built this in like episode 10 and I was probably I'm not gonna finish that sentence. But I'm gonna try to explain this thing anyway. So we have one minecart that goes around all the time, one that doesn't. For some reason this one didn't work on demand, so we just set it to loop around the whole thing. And this is your basic input chest, and this is your fuel chest. So for example, we can put some redstone ore into this. You can see that it gets picked up by the sets of 7. And then when we come down here, this is the output from it. So soon enough we should get some trickles of redstone dust. There it goes. And I do actually still use this, but we do definitely need a better system for that. And yeah, this is how the redstone works. I do not recommend building this. We will either fix this one or build a brand new one soon enough. Here we have a bit of a side entrance or a side exit with some coal storage on the side, which I barely use, and a ladder to get to the back side of the building. And here you can loop around and you can go back to where you came from. So the second build of Spruce Town is this thing. This was not a build with purpose, actually. Why are there so many sounds playing? Why are there so many sounds? So this was an experiment, actually. This was me attempting to learn interior design. So this is actually the side entrance. This grand one, this small one is the main entrance, of course. And it's the Bygl's lovely hut. I am really sucking at English today, I do apologize. It is not the Bygl's lovely hut, it is just Bygl's lovely hut. And yeah, we tried to design some interior here, and it was actually a really fun project, I think. I really liked making that episode. So we have a simple, like, room where you change your shoes, right, and you store them in the barrel. And then when you come here, you have like a combined living room kitchen area. You have your table, furnace, thing, sink with water, right, shelves on the top. And here was supposed to be like the back garage area, right, where you store all of the junk. So we have a bunch of barrels stacked on top of each other. I did actually use this as storage for a bit before we built the diamond cave. We have a bed, crafting table, just a random assortment of things basically, just to make it look cluttered. And we actually do have a secret entrance here. This is how the diamond cave looks from the outside. And you can see how the build was terraformed over time. I needed to build up some pillars to put the pumpkins, to hide the lighting and whatnot. That is pretty cool. Nowadays I just use this place to store more shulkers. I have so many shulker storage areas that you can't see. It's kinda insane. Close the door. And there's actually one more thing here. So there is a tower. There is a spiral staircase, which I never bothered to decorate, it seems. With an enderman on the top even. And yeah, this actually gives you a pretty cool view of some of our projects. You can see this thing nicely, you can see the Monolith Project nicely, you can see this area nicely. It is overall just a really nice view from here, I think. Coral biome there. And we can take our leave now. Kinda laggy for some reason, probably because we're loading in some bigger builds on the side. But yeah, we're gonna check out the second to last build here in Spruce Town. That being this is our brewery project actually. And I am most likely not gonna finish this. Missing blocks. Just noticed that we had a beacon there because we were insta-mining for the iron farm and I would appear to have forgotten to place the blocks back. But yeah, we tried. Yeah, it's very not finished, I should probably say that. But we tried to come up with a concept for our own brewing system. A semi-automatic one actually. And currently it is not restocked, so it's gonna break when I press this thing. But basically how this worked was we would press this button, the potions would get released, and then the potions would also get restocked. It was actually quite an efficient thing. I really liked using this. But if we are going to do a brewery system, then we're probably gonna need way more space, and we built this thing before actually knowing how much space we would need. This is where the potions end up, by the way, and this is where we actually do our manual brewing. And right on the opposite side from this building we have this. This is just a small, like, decoration area, lake thingy. I don't know, looks pretty cool. There is a waterfall on the side, and this is actually where you respawn when you die in this world. So the waterfall is actually kinda useful, because when you die and you respawn here, you can actually come up here. In case you die like here, you can just quickly come up this way. So that is pretty neat. And that is basically it for Spruce Town, I think. Yeah, I think that is actually it. Definitely needs more work, but currently we are preoccupied with other builds on this world, so we will probably not work on this anytime soon. There is another entrance here, by the way, to Spruce Town you can take right when exiting the Nether Portal. And we still have some things that we need to show off here before we move on to that side. So you probably saw some of these around here. These are slime block launchers. These are pretty cool. I don't use them way too much, but I do use them off camera when I'm like bored and I don't have anything to do. They're pretty neat. So basically it's extremely simple. Redstone is just a single piston. There is a redstone that... Oh, I broke the thing. Oh no, I didn't. But yeah, there is redstone dust there and there, pressure plate there and there. And you just need a small amount of practice to be able to use this thing. And when you do that, you just walk up and you get launched. And yeah, we try to place these all around the place. So there is one also here behind the brewery. And there is also one around here, right? Let's take a look. Yes, here it is. Opa! One last thing to mention is this thing. This is our unfinished project. The legendary unfinished fishing hut. No doors apparently, because I was spending a lot of time underground, so I guess the zombies just broke them to remind me that I need to sleep even though I'm mining. So yeah, the idea was to put something here, probably something like a AFK fishing farm, so if those get buffed sometime soon, maybe we can put them here. I don't know, we'll see. Or maybe also we wanted to put our dolphin here, which lasted astonishing 30 minutes in one of the episodes, so yeah, kind of a failed thing as well. So yeah, we're just gonna ignore this build and we're gonna move on to the other side of this island. And this is also all terraform, by the way, if you're curious. These hills are also very fake. So this used to be our main industrial project, our main redstone task in the world. And in terms of redstone, it is actually completely finished and completely functional. There are still a few things that need to be redecorated, but other than that, this thing is basically in theory finished. So this is the Monolith Project. And this was our attempt on making some mega farms. So as you can see, we have an amazing zombie farm there. Oh no, just kidding. We have a sugarcane farm. The zombies can't despawn because they picked up some sugarcane. So they are stuck there forever, and we decided to keep them. We have a pumpkin and melon farm here. We have a bamboo farm there. And we have a cactus farm there. So in case someone that is not familiar with farming is watching, I'm just gonna do a super quick rundown on how this works. So cactus breaks off when there is a block adjacent to it, pops off, collected by hoppers. This one is slightly more tricky. Hello, creeper. I need to be careful not to get blown up here. But if you take a look, you can see that the way we activate this contraption in particular is kind of interesting. Also, hopefully the footage here is not laggy, because there is a bunch of stuff happening on screen here and that may make some lag spikes. But anyway, the way this works is that whenever this observer here gets updated by the bamboo growing in front of it, it activates the redstone, which activates this, piston, which then pushes this log down. Now, if we hit F3, you can see that there is a persistent value there. Ignore that. That is not what we're looking at. I am just dumb. Ignore the persistent value and look at the distance value. So you can see that the distance is 7 on each one of these leaves, except for these ones. What is happening here? Something's wrong. Actually, no, it works. As long as you place the redstone block there properly, it works. So as you can see, when the log is adjacent to the leaves, they actually change their distance value. And observers can actually detect that. So by moving this log up and down whenever bamboo grows in front of this thing, you can actually fire the pistons down below. So instead of having a ugly staircase of redstone, we just have a single line of blocks. And I think that's a pretty cool thing. I do really like it. We don't have glass panes here. That way the items can actually fall down all the way to the hoppers, because normally the glass panes would connect up to the dirt, right? And the items wouldn't be able to fall through. So that's why some of these farms actually have gaps in between. And you might be wondering about this thing. So this is a pretty interesting build. Because it actually is a functional farm as well. It is a mob farm, in fact. A hostile mob farm. Farms all of the hostile mobs that usually spawn in your overworld. And currently there is a creeper stuck in it. Usually that shouldn't happen. But we're gonna try to observe here. So usually stuff spawns on these platforms. And as you can see, we have some dispensers with water that chain up and down whenever a clock that is up here activates. There it is. So we have a redstone clock, goes around the whole thing. Observer detects whenever the redstone dust changes, and that either releases or retracts the water. So when there is no water in the farm, the mobs spawn, and when there is water in the farm, then the mobs get pushed to the side, and that way they fall down here. They get killed by the magma blocks over here, and down below the water we actually have a storage system. So we have the same thing with hoppers over here, or a hopper minecart, the same that we have down on the iron farm, and then the items get simply sorted into these chests. Moving on this way from the monolith, we have the pumpkin carver, which is a pretty cool contraption. I designed it myself. There are probably no shears here, are there now? Yeah. So we're gonna cheat. Game mode creative. And we're gonna give ourselves a few shears. There we go. And this thing is relatively simple. So you need shears and you need pumpkins. You put the pumpkins in your offhand. I think it's either pumpkins or shears in your offhand. And then you go ham on your second mouse button. Yep. And that way you get a bunch of carved pumpkins. Actually, I think it's better to stand at a distance. Yes. So this thing is definitely not perfect. As you can see, there are pumpkins flying all over the place. But you can simply fix that by just adding a bunch of blocks to prevent that from happening. And then most of the seeds end up in this barrel. And a few pumpkins also can get into here. But most of the pumpkins end up in this one. I did not mean to do that. I am in creative. That's still gonna happen a bunch of times in this world tour thing. I just deleted all of my items. Do you know, I am really happy this is a backup. Oh no. Okay, well, moving on. We're not gonna let that stop us now, are we? We are like 70% done already, so might as well push on. We have the stables and the apiary. I guess these two would still fall below Spruce Town. if I were to name a project that they fall under. And this here is a very simple stables build. It currently is only occupied by cows, but we have 3 more pens available to us if we decide to put more animals into it. A bunch of hay bales for decoration, barrels. The main entrance is here for some reason. Yeah, Bygl was really good at designing structures back then. So yeah, a very simple build. And if we come here, this is our apiary, and this is actually our second horse of this world. The first one is somewhere that way, I think. In a jungle, somewhere far, far away. I remember the episode vividly. It was episode 15. We had a Nether Portal in a jungle, and we left our horse there. And also we left the Nether Portal there, but since that episode we reset our Nether, and therefore we don't have access to the portal, and therefore that horse is lost. I wonder how long it will be before we reunite, but for now this is our other horse. Anyway, once again I am getting distracted. This here is our automatic honey and beeswax farm, or honeycomb, basically the same thing. However, during one of the snapshots, for some reason the bees inside of these sadly died, so out of commission. No longer working farm, we're gonna have to fix it later, and we will probably add more modules to it as well, but yeah, it is a very simple design. We have comparators here. When the bee hive or bee nest, right? Yeah, when the bee nest gets to the maximum level where it actually can be harvested, the redstone travels up here, triggers a repeater, and it also powers the dispenser diagonally, actually. What else is there to show around here? I actually think that we might have just covered our entire main place, right? Yeah, we can just fly around and point out a few things that I might have missed. This is where I cut down some of my trees. And yeah, I think that actually might be it. The only curiosity is that I cut my trees down there. Yeah, and this is where we wanted to put our wool farm actually. But I decided that I actually want to put it somewhere elsewhere. And that is actually not something I talked about yet, so that is pretty cool. And yeah, that is, in that case, our main base completely stored. Nice. So now we gotta move on to our secondary bases, which we actually have multiple of. 3 in production as of right now, now that I think about it. And before we do that, actually, we should talk about this. So I very rarely, very rarely nowadays, stream from this world whenever I have the time and I have a boring task to do. So basically most of these dogs are renamed. So whenever there is a viewer on the stream, I give them the option of renaming a pet. And we can just fly around quickly. We can just quickly take a look at each one of these names. I don't think I ever talked about this in an episode actually, which is really amusing to me. Yeah, I don't think this one is renamed, no. And some of these are actually references to something, so we always have a renamed dog Pluto in our worlds. That is because I have a dog that is named Pluto in real life. And we also have one here, this one's renamed, yeah? Yes, Sasuke. Alright, so we are back at the coal mines and I think we are ready to leave this place, so going down here we have a small minecart station. Kinda laggy, I do apologize. No idea why that is happening. And we can step on the pressure plate that actually gives us a minecart. And whenever we come to this station or the one that is on the other side of the rail track, they hit the cactus, and then the minecart falls into the hopper, which automatically refills the dispenser, which I think is pretty cool. So we can instead hop in and we can take a ride in this really loud minecart. Wow, that's loud. But yeah, this is basically a pretty cool way of going to the Outpost, which is our mining base. We get to see the coral reef and some of the ocean. We should probably do some underwater builds around here, just so you have something to look at. And we are at the Outpost. So... okay. I just noticed. What is happening? I think there might be a desync problem right now. I should probably relog. Okay, yeah, that is looking way better. Way less cursed this way. But yeah, this is the Outpost. This is basically a continuation of the coal mines. And the idea was just to have a mining outpost where we can store all of our mining resources and a place where we can insta-mine. So before we go down into the actual mine, we're just gonna walk around here so you can get the feel of how this build was made. We have oak as our main material and the site as a secondary one, and then just some leaves for some color. We are in a spruce biome, so these have a minty color. And yeah, this is how the sorting system looks from here. It's your basic impulse design, and it's overall just a very early in the works build as of right now. As you can see, all of these are filled in with stone as they don't lead anywhere as of right now. So let's take a peek down in the Instamine area of this place. So there is actually a abandoned mine shaft right here. So whenever we feel like we can get some cobwebs or we can build something in there. And down here is where I get most of my stone resources. And as you can see, I did mine out a decent amount of this place already. We can actually fly around here. I do leave the diamond ore behind for no reason whatsoever. I don't know, it kind of looks cool when you leave it behind, and then we can have like pockets of it all around us, and whenever we need some we just come here and we can fortune it. So that's an idea. We used our pumpkin and melon farm to make this beacon. It is haste too, so we can insta-mine, of course. And here we can just see a bunch of random resources, and whenever we want to actually send these up to the surface, all we really need to do is grab a bunch of them, like so, and then we just come here and we can put them in this chest. So it's very similar to the other thing that I showed off earlier in the coal mines. This is a more advanced version, so we have a dial system here, so we can actually set how many items need to be in the minecart before it actually leaves. So it can either have a single item or 0 stacks, 1 stack, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 or 14 stacks. And then when that amount of items get into the minecart, which is currently probably depositing its items, then yeah, that's when the minecart leaves. And this is the redstone behind it. It is extremely simple. We just detect the item frame, and based on the comparison, the piston is either extended or it isn't. So the nether is probably gonna be the last thing we check out in today's episode. First we are going to go to the Compendium Project. No idea why I call it like that. But yeah, this is where the Compendium Project is actually located. So not too far away from the outpost. We'll probably build a railway around there somewhere. But yeah, we started this just a few episodes back, and I am loving it. So this is our idea of the perfect storage facility. So here is the plan, and the idea is that we have a input and a output and a bunch of sorters in between, and that way we can store a variety of different items in a different way. And hopefully it's gonna turn out to be really efficient. I hope. So this is going to be the entrance. This is how it's looking so far, and this is also kind of a block palette thing. So we picked out dark oak, spruce wood, pumpkins, prismarine, brick, and maybe honey and oak trapdoors, as well as granite for the road. No idea how I got the selections. Probably from watching videos, because I did see... Oh, leg spike. There we go. I did see a bunch of people using blocks in this combination, and I did like it a lot, so I guess that's how I got the idea for this. And this here is the first storage facility that we began, so this is the Ender Sorter system. The idea is that you have 16 different modules where, well, actually you can have way more than that. But yeah, we decided to go for 16 as there are 16 different colors that you can pick for shulkers. As you can see, each one of these modules has a different colored stained glass in the middle. So each one of these is going to store a shulker, and each shulker has 5 hoppers pointed into it, and each hopper can hold 5 items. 5 times 5 is 25, and each shulker has 27 slots. Basically, each shulker will have 2 slots that actually need to be sorted manually, but basically this is a system that will allow us to have most to all blocks from the game at our fingertips if need be, once we actually finish this thing. And even though the bulk of it is already done, like, this thing is actually usable. The problem is actually putting the items in the shulkers, so yeah, it's probably gonna be a while before we do that. But this is the front face we built this last episode, and I love how this thing looks. Probably one of my most favorite builds, actually. And I asked last episode whether you liked the dark oak or the jungle, dark oak jungle, and you guys said jungle, and I'm really happy that you did, because I do actually prefer the jungle as well. So yeah, that is as far as we got with the compendium project so far, and there is still a bunch of work that needs to be done here, and I'm super excited to work on it still. And before we leave, there's actually one more build here. This is EFO's slab birthday anniversary celebration thing. So if you haven't heard, EFO's LP is either the first or one of the first LPs to actually hit the 10-year mark, and we decided to celebrate. So if you press the button, nothing happens. No, what is wrong? Why doesn't it work? It literally worked a few days ago. There's a redstone dust thing missing. How did this happen? Oh no. So yeah, this is how the redstone looks. I guess I can show that off. Yeah, what happened here? Shouldn't there be a piston here? I'm pretty sure there should be a piston here. I have no idea how that happened. I probably insta-mined it or something when I tried to get out of here. And if we press this button now, it shoots out cookies out of his eyes. It's a go get your snacks reference. So that is pretty cool. And there is one more thing here, so I gotta get some diamonds for this. EFO is infamous for actually burning diamonds in his videos, so this is a thing to represent that. And currently it is broken. We need to replace this thing with a different block, something like a daylight sensor, something that is smaller than a slab, because we cannot actually throw items on the netherrack here. But as you can see, when you throw the diamond in, it turns into a blue fire. Which is really amusing. I really like this thing. And it actually has a 5-minute clock built into it, and when that runs out, then the fire actually changes back to its normal state. So I can actually show it off here. The clock works on the principle of items despawning after 5 minutes. Oh, yeah, it changes back. So that is pretty cool, and then we can burn another diamond. The items get replaced, and now it will burn for 5 more minutes. And the redstone in this thing is kinda all over the place, as you can see. If you for some reason wanna copy this monstrosity, then there you go. We do actually keep the diamonds as well, by the way, so you don't lose them permanently. It's just there for the show. I like this thing so much, it's so amusing, so pointless as well. So all there really is to see now is everything that is connected via the Nether Hub. So let's actually check this out. Man, we are almost there. These are the last few projects that we need to visit. Okay, let the things load in, let the lag spikes cease, please. There we go. So this here is the concept of our Nether Hub. We have 4 tunnels, each in a different coordinate. So we have positive x, positive z, positive x, negative z, and so on and so forth. And we picked out a primary color for each one. So yellow, green, blue, and red. And each one has a corresponding theme with it. So the yellow one is desert themed, as you can see, or maybe like this tropical themed, I don't know. The green one is like a overgrown one. We have a bunch of bamboo, leaves, melons, and it's overall a very green one. And this here is the blue one. This one is way more clean than the green one. We just use some quartz, light gray terracotta, glass paints to keep the boats on the ice road. And the most developed one as of right now is the red one. And with this one we use the red nilium. And we also used a bunch of blackstone and shroom light, as you can see. And this one actually goes quite the distance, and it also has a small windowed area here. Before we actually go to the end of the tunnel, I should show something off here. So we have a temporary piglin brute. I said piglin brute. No, this is just a normal piglin for bartering. Hello, Mr. Oink. And yeah, we just chuck gold at him. The hopper clock periodically puts a gold bar into his hands, and then he barters us all of the different things that he can. And we actually have a pretty cool system for boats here. So you can press the pressure plates and they give you a boat, and then you can ride the boat like this, go to the end of the tunnel, and then when you're coming back to the base or to 0, you just break the boat, and usually the boat actually falls there on the slab, and the slab actually has a hopper below it, and that hopper is pointing directly to the dispenser, which actually gives you the item. So I guess we're gonna take the green road first. The blue one doesn't have anything in it still. The yellow one does, and also the red one does. The red one has the most. So this actually goes down to our ice farm. So we still need to move the portal. But this was an idea we had. So we wanted to build a automatic ice cube farm in our world, and we sadly failed. As you can see, we cannot... I mean, the farm actually works, but we cannot have more than a single layer of ice. So I did actually get a DM from one of you guys who sent me a design, so we might actually return here relatively soon. But the idea is that we had all of these pistons, and down here we had water which would freeze, then the pistons would push up the water, the ice actually, the frozen water, and then the pistons would fire, and then it would form a cube. However, the ice actually blocks the other pieces of ice from growing, so yeah, sadly doesn't work. It works on the side here because we put it in the slime block thing, but that only works on the side here. We cannot put these in the center because obviously the ice is in the way. So yeah, and this is also built in a ice spikes biome, which is pretty cool. We actually have 2 of these in our world. And yeah, that is basically it for this place. Nothing too fancy happening here. Moving on, we have the yellow road, and we're not actually gonna go visit all of the things here. All I really want to show off is that we have a portal to our mesa here. And the tunnel goes all the way to the witch hut we found a few episodes back. So yeah, we're gonna have to finish this tunnel if we ever wanna actually make the witch farm. The blue one doesn't go anywhere as of right now, and the red one actually goes to all of the places, so we still need to make a proper entrance here, but this actually goes and connects up the big portal on the other side. So this is actually the big portal that is in the Spruce Town area, right? The giant overgrown portal. Man, I am losing my voice. I've been recording for like 4 hours already. Ooh, but yeah, we can go to the end of the tunnel, hopefully without lag spikes, please game. Thank you very much. And here we can take a left turn, so the tunnel is not properly finished yet. This goes all the way to our nether fortress. So yeah, this place infuriates me. And why, you might be asking? Well, double blaze spawner, right? Well, not really. They are like 5 blocks too far away from each other. If they were 5 blocks closer to each other, we could make a double blaze farm, but we sadly can't, so yeah. We just use this place to farm up some blaze rods and wither skulls every once in a while when we need a beacon or something. This portal up here goes to a dark oak biome, and here in this tunnel is where our biggest farm in the world actually is. So we punched out a hole in the ceiling here, and up above us is our gold farm. And this thing is ginormous. It's so big, and we're still gonna expand it actually. We still need to add in 1 more layer. So yeah, as you can see, the piglins are slowly spawning in, and the idea is that you stand in the middle here and you have a bow or a trident, and you hit them, and then they come towards you. Then you stand on this slab and you just whack them, and that's how you fill these chests up with goodies. Yeah, going forward with this build, we will probably fill in all of this with glass. That way the piglins can be way quicker in terms of actually getting to us. That way we get better rates. And we will also build 1 more platform and then a spawn-proofing platform above it. And I was thinking that like maybe we should put some pixel art here. Like in terms of spawn-proofing, I am thinking like having a giant glass circle above it, and maybe we can punch in some pixel art with stained glass. I think that could be really fun. But yeah, I think we are done. My throat is on fire. It was a journey, this episode, it really was. It is currently 1 AM, and I think I am very ready to go to sleep. But yeah, do let me know if you enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun to record, and it was a lot of fun to walk around all of our builds and whatnot. So yeah, I don't think we are doing a episode 75 world tour. Yeah, maybe we can instead do a world tour of my very first Minecraft Java edition world. That could be pretty cool, right? Or something else. Just definitely not this, because it's gonna be way too long. And if we do a world tour in the future, then it's probably gonna be way more quick. Like, I'm not gonna go super into detail on everything, because this episode is probably gonna be like 45 episodes. 45 hours, probably. Oh my god, 45 minutes! Think big! Wow. Okay, yeah, my brain fizzled out, guys. I am going to sleep, but 50 episodes in, And I am really happy and proud of myself for actually commenting to this series for so long. And even though this episode was like a special episode, I do actually have something special planned for next episode as well. So see you guys then, but... Oh, I wanted to eat the cake in celebration, but I guess we're not doing that. So yeah, thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.